Hi everybody, welcome to my next movie review. What it is I had planned on going and seeing, Harry Potter 8 or, Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows Part 2 when it was out in the theater. Well, unfortunately, Tony and I got so sidetracked with everything else, we obviously didn't get a chance to go see it in the theater. And we were going to go see it at the Rave out in Florence, Kentucky, which is about 23 minutes west of here. West and southwest of here. But it unfortunately didn't happen. We are looking forward to actually watching it. I just didn't want you guys to think, where's the Harry Potter 8 movie review, or Part 2 of 8 movie review? Well, just wait. It hasn't. It's one of those things where I haven't had a chance to see it. I'm sorry. I just wanted to, take the time now to, actually tell you guys this. And the thing that I'm looking forward to the most out of, on this movie, and please don't tell me how it ends. I mean, I've read the book and I know how it ends, but, let me watch the movie and then review it and, I'll tell you my opinion of it. But the thing is that I want to know, and this is important to me, and I've mentioned this in previous Harry Potter movie reviews, especially Harry Potter 6 and 7, Half-Blood Prince and Harry Potter Deathly Hallows Part 1, is I want to know, how is it that the Dursleys knew that it was best for them to hit the road, Jack, as the song goes, and split at the beginning of Deathly Hallows Part 1. And Half-Blood Prince in the book, we're talking about the book, not, Half-Blood Prince the book, not the movie. And, there's, it actually, Dumbledore himself comes and tells the Dursleys, hey look, and I mentioned this before, hey look, you guys need to, Amscray when Harry turns 17. And I've talked about that in both the movie review for the movie Half-Blood Prince and in Deathly Hallows Part 1. And there's no information in either movie provided to show the viewer, like myself, that the Dursleys were told, that, hey, seriously, when Harry turned 17, the protection spell that his mom Lily put on Harry and her sister's family, Petunia, it will, end. And, the other thing I wanted to see, and I think I saw a comment about Harry Potter 8, that, not just me, I wanted to see in Deathly Hallows Part 1, I wanted to hear Dudley tell Harry that he wasn't a waste of space. I mean, and he said that at the beginning of the book. And, I mean, it made me feel a lot better. It's like, that Dudley realizes that after the Dementor attack back in the Prisoner of Azkaban, that actually made him eat crow and made him realize that, what, Harry saved my life. I could have been killed by an unseen thing that, you have to keep in mind. Dudley couldn't see the Dementors. Harry could see them, but Dudley couldn't see them. So you got to keep that in mind. And I think, and it's speculation about what Dudley actually saw, and it's said that Dudley actually saw himself as what he really was, a mean, heartless, cruel, vicious bully. And, it's what I think it is, and this is just me talking. I think that Dudley, where his mom and dad resent Harry for, having something that they don't have because they're muggles, that they're jealous. I mean, I know Petunia for a fact is jealous, because in the book, in Deathly Hallows, the book, Petunia finally comes, there's like, somehow it comes out, I think it's through Snape if I'm remembering correctly, that Petunia knew that Lily, Harry's mom, was a witch, and that Snape, Severus Snape, knew both Lily and Petunia. like, back in the day, back when they were, you know, kids. You know, and Snape was the one that told Lily, hey, you're a witch. You know, and Petunia wanted to go to Hogwarts, and Dumbledore told her, no. Sorry, I mean, and I think, if I'm remembering right, she went and didn't do very good, because, you know, she was a muggle, and, you know, well, you can just use your imagination from there. But Lily just did really good, and Petunia resented that, you know, because it's like, you know, and I think I've mentioned this in other videos, I can't remember offhand, it's been a while since I've watched the videos, actually. You know, Petunia's, like, jealous of her sister's talent. It'd be like, in my opinion, and this just, you know, shows that Petunia's immature and as a person, and doesn't see that, okay, you know, your sister's got this great talent, you know, well, what's your talent? You know, what, you know, and it's, you know, led her into, you know, a life of bitterness and despair, and she's obviously miserable. I mean, you can tell she is. I mean, from all the other Harry Potter books and movies, you can tell Petunia's a miserable person, as is Vernon. You know, they're both miserable people. And, I mean, it just, you know, goes to show you that, you know, yeah, they're, you know, not happy campers. And that, it just, you know, like, even in the very first Harry Potter movie, I mean, I wanted to slap Vernon so hard, like, just, really. I mean, it's like, it's not his fault that his mom and dad were murdered by Voldemort. That's not his, that was beyond his control. He was just a baby when this happened. You know, don't blame him for what happened, and you need to get over yourself, because, you know, just because your sister and brother-in-law could do stuff that you couldn't do, and, you know, you're jealous of that, that doesn't mean you can take that out on them. It'd be like, you know, in the real world, it'd be like somebody being a virtuoso musician and their siblings, you know, not having any kind of musical talent, or about as tone deaf as you could ever be. I mean, and they're jealous of that. You know, I mean, not all people can be virtuoso musicians. You know, it's the same thing, in my opinion. I mean, and it just shows, you know, with, like, Petunia and Vernon, that, you know, they're jealous of something that they can't help. I mean, it's, like, beyond their control. I mean, in the reality of the matter. And it's just, you know, people like that, you know, you just want to look at them and say, you know, you're deluded. You know, seriously. I mean, like, if you stop and think about it, you know, really, you know, just because you didn't end up being a virtuoso musician, that's not saying that there's something wrong with you personally. I mean, they have what I think is an inferiority complex. You know, they feel less than, you know, Lily and James Potter. I mean, and it's just, you know, I feel like, on the one hand, I almost feel bad for them, but, you know, at the point that now she's an adult and she can consciously decide that, okay, just because she's a witch and she's married to a wizard, you know, that doesn't mean that, you know, I'm any less of a person. You know, I can go on and have a happy life and not have to worry anything about it. You know, that, you know, I'd rather be able to, you know, grow like a great garden or something, you know, or go over here and do this or that, you know, or be like a great musician or something. You know, I've got talents and I'm a good person too. I mean, please. I mean, unless, like, Lily and Petunia's mom and dad were, like, making such a big stink out of the fact that Lily, oh my god, you know, it's just the best thing in the whole world, you know, Lily's a witch. Well, congratulations, you know. Yeah, she's a witch, but, you know, and I think what really boils down to is Petunia just was jealous from where her and Lily's parents made a stink out of, you know, or a big to-do out of, you know, Lily being a witch. I think that's what it really boiled down to. You know, and she just felt, like I said, inferior. But, you know, I'm just looking forward to seeing Deathly Hallows Part 2 as soon as I can get it on DVD somewhere, you know, and see it. And And I mean, another thing is, you know, at the beginning of Deathly Hallows Part 1, I mean, there's no, like, real reason why, you know, they're like, well, you know, we're leaving because we got this letter from, like, Professor McGonagall, or we got a visit from Professor McGonagall, or we got a visit from Dumbledore while school was going on, saying, you know, look, you know, you need to be aware of the fact that this is going on and this is going to happen, and, you know, with Harry. And when he turns 17, the spell is going to be gone. You know, you're going to be in a world of hurt when that happens. You know, and like, I know that at the end of the book, and I can't, of course, like I said, I haven't watched Deathly Hallows Part 2 yet, but what I hope at the end of that movie where they show, like, Harry and Hermione and Ron, like, as adults, like, 20 years later or 16 years later or whatever, I hope that they show these kids, you know, talking about the fact, like, you know, Harry tells, like, Hermione and Ron that, you know, I found out from Dudley that my aunt and uncle got a letter or a visit from Professor McGonagall or Professor Dumbledore stating that, you know, hey, look, when Harry turns 17, you know, this is going on. You know, I would like to know, and I would also love to see Harry, you know, even if Harry talks about it, says, you know, I would prefer to see Dudley tell Harry, you know, I am sorry for what my parents put you through, or better yet, I would like to see him say it and then have them apologize too, maybe, but that's of course unlikely, considering that Petunia's mind was warped and twisted because of the fact she was just crazy jealous of her sister, you know, but I would just really like that. And I mean, it's like, you know, but my main thing is, though, if they don't talk about, even at the end, like how the Dursleys knew to quote-unquote get out of Dodge while Harry was still 16 and before Harry's 17th birthday, you know, that would really bother me, because the situation wasn't addressed at the beginning of the movie Half-Blood Prince, as I've mentioned beforehand, because it was mentioned in the book Half-Blood Prince, because, you know, Dumbledore comes and gets Harry himself, or Dumbledore comes and gets Harry in person, and that's, you know, of course, like I said before, Dumbledore tells, you know, the Dursleys, you know, how that bird flies, you know. Ironic enough, because that's, you know, an owl, and all the Harry Potters, that's, you know, the bird of choice. But, you know, as I've mentioned previously in this video, you know, as, you know, matter of fact, at the beginning, that as soon as Tony and I see that that Deathly Hallows Part 2 is available either on DVD or Blu-ray, we're definitely going to rent it and watch it. And I will be doing a movie review of it soon enough, as soon as we can find it. And, you know, it's just because Tony and I didn't get a chance, unfortunately, to see it in the theater. You know, I mean, that happens. I mean, but such is life. Well, anyway, folks, I'm going to pause here. I need to check something real quick, and I'll get right back with another movie review, okay? So hang on.